Hello, everybody. We're back. It's your boy. 8 a.m. Just woke up, Scarecrow, so my voice isn't sounding great. I'm also sick a little bit, so that's not going to help either. But we've got a new update from EW. They have revealed all of the different plumage types for the Great One Pheasant. Yep, they have revealed every single one of them. And there's some really cool looking plumage types. And I was telling you guys before that I thought they could make some pretty crazy colors for these beautiful birds. And they have. They've made some insane looking colors. Now, obviously, this is not in-game screenshots right here. This is what I would kind of assume is just like mock-ups. Like, these are the drawn versions. So these are not like official in-game screenshots or anything. It's the drawn versions of all of the different Great One fur types, or plumage types, I should say, since it's a bird. And honestly, a lot of them look good. The first one we got right here is the citrine, which looks really solid. I'd say this might be one of my favorites, probably a top 3. As you can see, it's a very like yellow, gold, orange type of theme. I think this one's really pretty. Definitely going to be one of my favorites. And then right next to it, we've got the sapphire, which is also another very pretty one. I told you guys before that I really wanted a super blue pheasant, and this right here is pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. And honestly, guys, I've got a feeling that we may go for the pheasant first, because a lot of these look so good. I'm starting to really be excited for the pheasant. Next up, we've got the ruby, which has kind of like a pinkish white type of tone. I'm not really sure why it's called ruby if it's mainly like pink, but I suppose it's possible that in-game it'll actually look a little bit more red, kind of giving it that ruby name. Because as I was saying, this is just like the drawings of them. What would they even call these? I'm trying to remember the exact name. I don't know if it's really mock-ups, but it's like, it's essentially not the final in-game versions of it, obviously. This was something that was earlier than when they finally made them, but I assume this is all the ones that they chose to make. I mean, you can even see in the bottom left, it says final in-game models might differ. So this is definitely not their final version of them, but it gives us an idea of what to expect. Next up, we have the obsidian, another really pretty looking one. So far, as of now, of the 4 that we've looked at, ruby's probably my least favorite. And obsidian is kind of like right above it. Obsidian's pretty, but I think the citrine and the sapphire look a little bit better. Regardless, though, these all look really nice. I'm excited for all of them. But we got 4 more. This is only half of them, so let's go to the other 4 now. Next up, we have the garnet, which looks kind of crazy. The garnet looks kind of wild. It's got like a bright ruby red chest as well as like the black on the back. Oh, and like I just mentioned, you know, just another heads up. I did just wake up. I'm a little bit sick, so I don't sound the best right now. And the more I'm talking, the worse it's getting. So apologies for that, guys. But yeah, garnet looks really good. I think I like this one more than the last 2 we looked at, the pearl and the obsidian. But I don't think it's my favorite as of now. Later on, maybe later in the video, I will rank all of them from my favorite to my least favorite. Obviously, this is a super early look at them, so it's hard to say how that will change over time. But I'll try to do a little bit of a ranking. Next up, we got the emerald. The emerald is probably my favorite out of all of them. It is so pretty, man. I love green. Green is my favorite color. So a green pheasant, yes, please. That is awesome. It's green. It's got a lot of white throughout it. It's got kind of like a rusty color on its chest. Really pretty looking variation. Definitely going to be my favorite, I think. Next up, we have the pearl. I believe just a second ago I said pearl when I meant to say ruby was one of my least favorites. Pearl is one that we hadn't actually looked at yet, and we're looking at it right now. That is the pearl variation. I don't know, probably my least favorite now. So I guess a second ago when I said pearl by accident was actually correct. This one's not that special to me, if I'm being honest. It's all right. I mean, they're all cool, but that one is definitely my least favorite. It just has the least special of a look to it. It's kind of more basic. But, you know, there's some people out there that kind of like more realistic, more basic looking Great One furs. So, hey, maybe the pearl will be your variation. And now we got the morganite. This is the final one, number 8. And honestly, it's not too bad, but it's not incredible. This is another one of those where it's a little bit more on the realistic side, I believe. Obviously, still way more colorful than your average pheasant would be, but I'd say this one kind of errs on the side of realism a little bit more. But it's, again, not my favorite. but it also isn't one of my least favorite. I'd say this one's kind of middle of the road. I'd say out of all these pheasant variations, there is like maybe 5 that I really love, and then 3 that are just okay. But honestly, that's the beauty of doing 8 variations. This is going to be the second most in the game whenever they release it and the fox. But this right here, the pheasant, already has more variations than any of the current great ones that we already have in Call of the Wild. The only reason it won't have the most during this update is because the red fox, which we have not seen yet, is going to have more. It's going to have 9 variations. So this is really awesome to see. It's good that they went with so many variations. That way there's a little bit of something for everybody. I'd say at the end of everything, looking at all of these different variations, my favorite is the emerald. For sure. It's just such a pretty variation. And then number 2 is probably going to be the sapphire, with number 3 being the citrine, number 4 being probably the garnet, number 5 being the obsidian, number 6 being the morganite, number 7 being the pearl, or no, number 7 being the ruby, and number 8 being the pearl. I think for now, that's kind of like my lineup of these. Although, like I said, could change at some point. It definitely could change at some point. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This is a first look at all the different variations for the Great One Pheasant. Not in-game screenshots, though, so they could look a little bit different when we actually get to see them in-game. But for now, this is what we've got to look at, and they look really good. I'd be pretty happy with the majority of these. Like I said, there's probably about 5 of these that I consider to be really good looking, and then 3 that are just, like, decent, you know? So overall, solid. Definitely good. I'm excited for it. I might end up going for the pheasant first, just because of like a few of these variations, like the garnet, the emerald, the sapphire, the citrine, you know, those types. I might be going for the pheasant first instead of the fox, because these are beautiful. But thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.